Have you ever been playing a game and thought to yourself, this game just gets it? Everything about the gaming experience just seems to click. The gameplay, the music, the writing, the acting, everything. Well, we've definitely thought this from time to time, and that's why we're deciding to put together a list of the 10 games that just got it right. Small disclaimer, these aren't ranked, so you don't have to worry about which one comes first. While Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2 paved the way for the Xbox and online multiplayer in general, it was Halo 3 that just combined the best elements in both games, which culminated in one of the best multiplayer shooters of all time. Seriously, there's not much negative to say about Halo 3 at all. The campaign was excellent, with the countless hidden secrets scattered in every level, and the multiplayer has been praised plenty already. But it was the addition and combination of Forge mode with custom games that really set Halo 3 apart from the rest. With the community creating their own games, they're still being played almost a decade later on than Halo 5.
Oh, that'll leave a mark.
Speaking of console-defining games, we have The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. One could argue that this was more than just a console-defining game, but also a game that shaped the course of games for later developers. The length of it, the beautiful narrative, the challenging puzzles, and of course the intimidating villain in Ganon. Almost everything about the Ocarina of Time screams, nailed it! It would appear, however, that the Nintendo has struck gold once again with Breath of the Wild.
Who? She was a girl Dutch Vanderlyn shot in the head on that raid on the ferry a few years back. Same one you got shot on.
It's not often that a game gets absolutely everything right, which is sort of what this list is for. Red Dead Redemption is just one of those games. But we don't just mean it got the gameplay, narrative, world design, music, and all the rest right, which it did. We mean Red Dead Redemption got everything so right that we genuinely felt empty inside after the ending. It's been 7 years, but we're still going to give you a spoiler warning here. The sheer gravity of John Marston's predicament doesn't truly hit home until he steps out from the barn and is confronted by the marshals. Yeah, you can continue playing the game as Jack Marston, John's son, but it's just not the same.
Don't bury me 'neath the western sky.
If you're allergic to peanuts, you might want to tell somebody now, because this next test may turn your blood into peanut water for a few minutes.
For some, the first Portal exemplifies the perfect game, but to us, it's gotta be Portal 2. Valve took what they had in Portal and just added to it. The stellar game design made it so that new mechanics were never introduced too suddenly or too awkwardly. Who could forget the writing as well? The entire dark comedic tone is perfectly executed.
Here come the test results. You are a horrible person. That's what it says. A horrible person. We weren't even testing for that.
Let's be real here. A game where a potato, a dismembered recording, and a bumbling idiot robot have more humanity to them than most human characters in other games deserves a mention in our list. If you disagree, that's fine. Just know that you're wrong.
Pick up a rifle and follow the yellow line. You'll know when the test starts.
Stop, would you kindly? Would you kindly? Powerful phrase.
Would you kindly? Sorry, we're not going to make that reference. It's been done so often at this point. But with good reason, really. BioShock is a classic, and the ending still sticks with anyone who's played the game. But games aren't defined by their endings, or at least they shouldn't be. It's about the journey, not the destination. Or some other pseudo-philosophical quote. In BioShock's case, the journey to Rapture was already enough to put the game in the "this is awesome" category. From there on, it was just a wonderful and seemingly unending roller coaster of perfection.
Head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch.
Sit, would you kindly?
I might come back on board, or I might try to make a go of it. Like they say, it is the land of opportunity.
Perhaps a controversial choice for some of you, considering the quality of Grand Theft Auto games throughout the years. But we're gonna give it to GTA 4 because it just had the whole package. Yeah, the map was smaller than normal and Cousin Roman spawned the whole bowling meme, but the story of Niko Bellic is just so intense and quite personal too. We get to really know the various characters that Niko encounters throughout his game in Liberty City. San Andreas also deserves a shout out here, but in GTA 4, Rockstar Games basically nailed the writing in this game, which was then aided by the entire cast nailing their roles with an equal measure of nailing it. Yes, Tetris. Why? Because literally anyone with 2 thumbs can play it. It's the definition of simplicity in game design. Just arrange the falling blocks for as long as you can. On the surface, it doesn't sound very hard, but it can become incredibly intense very quickly. Which is what adds to the game being so perfect. There's no such thing as being too good at Tetris. It will always get difficult eventually. Who could forget about the iconic music as well? It spawned an entire subculture of sampling and remixes. What type of list would this be if we didn't include Mario in some capacity? So naturally, we're going to include one of the best iterations of the massive Mario franchise, namely Super Mario 64. Once we'd hyperventilated into the Nintendo 64 cartridge to get the bloody thing to work, the expansive open world of Mario 64 was truly something to behold. Especially back when it was released. The concept of that type of open world was still relatively new, and the Nintendo just casually knocked it out the park. And you could throw penguins off the edge of cliffs. That's always fun. What more can be said about Mass Effect 2 that hasn't already been said? Not much at this point, but we're gonna try anyway. BioWare took what they had in Mass Effect 1 and just built on it beautifully, adding new characters to befriend and adding more to the existing ones. The characters are so well written and acted that everyone who's played Mass Effect 2 has a different favourite. Well, there are only 12, so there's likely to be some overlapping. But the point remains. Mass Effect 3 could also get a shout out for getting it right, but then BioWare went ahead and produced that ending. So, no more shout outs.
I was born 87 years ago. For 65 years, I've ruled as Tamriel's emperor.
Once again, you may think that Skyrim is the natural choice for an Elder Scrolls entry, but while Skyrim was incredible, it was Oblivion that really built a compelling world in which we could totally immerse ourselves. The faction's side quests were all massive enough to be their own game, and there were 5 of them. Then there was the actual main storyline, which was equally amazing. That's not to say that Skyrim wasn't good, but we feel like Oblivion just did it better overall, despite having more limited resources available at the time. And those are the 10 games we think just got it right. They knocked it out the park. A proverbial touchdown, a home run, bowling a century, other positive sports references. Are there any games that you think got it just right? Let us know in the comments and be sure to like, share and subscribe for more random lists right here at ZoominGames.
All right, we're working on a little teleportation experiment. Now, this doesn't work with all skin types, so try to remember which skin is yours, and if it doesn't teleport along with you, we'll do what we can to sew you right back into it.